Welcome along to episode 725 of the Milk Bar. Jason Forrest here with you as ever. And coming up on the show this week, Dr. Ranj and Dr. Linda Papadopoulos letting us know about Mental Health Awareness Week and how we can tackle some of the stresses through exercise. We'll be hearing from Cameron Sharp, local lad, who's part of the cast of the Rock of Ages tour, which arrives at the Grand in the not too distant future. We'll be finding out about the show that's on at the Grand this week too, as we chat with Drew Hylton all about Unexpected Twist, a tale put together by Michael Rosen. We will also be finding out what's going on in the world of Jay Blades, as I caught up with him at the Malvern Three Counties Showground for their spring festival with the RHS. And we're finding out about their next event, which is going to be massive. It's a Royal Three Counties show, having a chat with the team all about that one. That's all on the way on the show this week.
Welcome to the Milk Bar. 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 Welcome to the Milk Bar.
A new Every Mind campaign is encouraging us to get physical to help with mental health. To tell us more, I'm joined now by Dr. Linda Papadopoulos and Dr. Ranj Singh. Good afternoon to you both.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
So, first of all, from a psychological point of view, Linda, as you're a psychologist, give us a bit of the background to the whole story here, please.
Well, basically, with this Mental Health and Awareness Week, which is upon us now, Every Mind Matters is launching this new campaign to encourage people to kind of make the first move for their mental health. And what they're really wanting to focus on is the way that physical activity can actually really help, especially with subclinical anxiety. So what it can do is increase feel-good hormones and reduce some of those symptoms of stress. So it's really very much about, I think, alerting people to kind of think about how movement and physical activity can help not just physical health, but mental health as well.
Ranj, I mean, obviously, we're used to seeing you running around doing all sorts of things on TV, on stage, and in panto. And panto must be great for your mental health because you're getting a physical workouts and you're having a good laugh too.
Yeah, absolutely. So when we talk about physical health, physical activity, people think, oh my gosh, I've got to go and run a marathon, or I've got to join the gym, or I've got to do something really extravagant. And actually, to reap those mental health benefits, you don't have to do that. What's much more important is moving in general. So doing something, which is better than doing nothing, and doing something regularly and then building it up. So my key to all of this is find something that you enjoy, whether that's dancing, which is my go-to physical activity, or whether it's panto, or whether it's going for a walk, or whether it's if you want to go for a jog, absolutely go for it. But whatever you do, make it a regular part of your daily routine. Not only do you then reap the physical health benefits, but you then start to get those mental health benefits as well, particularly when it comes to things like anxiety, which is what this Every Mind Matters campaign is all about.
75% of adults are saying they have signs of anxiety. And although this is going to help, it's not an immediate fix, but it's something that will build up over a matter of weeks.
Yeah, so it's different things will work for different people. So we all experience anxious feelings and anxiety in different ways. And the things we can do to combat them will be differently effective, I suppose. But it's about finding the thing that works for you. And you don't necessarily need to just go from 0 to 100. Sometimes it is just a case of build yourself up, make it something regular, and then hopefully eventually you'll get there and you'll start to see those benefits.
And Linda, people are struggling to get to the NHS recommended amount of exercise too, aren't they?
They really are. We know that there's at least 12.4 million people that are actually getting less than 30 minutes a week. So, that's kind of one of those stats that really gets you. But on the positive side, we know that it's exactly those people that are getting very, very little activity that it'll have the most positive effect on. And actually, so much of behavioral change is kind of, from a psychological point of view, it's very much about getting that kind of rhythm to it, right? So we really are creatures of habit. And once you find your thing, right? And I think a lot of people listening are going to think, I hate gyms, I don't want to go. It's not about that. I mean, physical activity is actually different to that kind of, stringent exercise. Find your thing, whether it is walking, whether it's doing couch aerobics, whether it's swimming, whether it's, doing something with friends and an activity you enjoy. And through that, it becomes easier. It becomes part of your everyday.
Mhm. And Ranj, I suppose we often people are using things like watching TV as a distraction. Find a distraction which is better for you.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that when it comes to dealing with anxious feelings, like finding something that works for you is great. And that could be anything from, setting up daily worry time where you spend some time to work through what you're going through and process some of those feelings so they don't intrude on the rest of your day. Doing relaxation techniques like mindfulness meditation, stuff like that. Whatever works for you is great. But if you can build in some extra physical activity, which doesn't, like I said before, doesn't necessarily mean doing going from 0 to 100, doing something really, really extravagant. If you can build something in and make it regular, as Linda was saying, it just gets easier and easier with time, and you get more benefit from it that way.
Yeah, and it's the good hormones that get released are the things which will really start to make a difference. And again, Linda, I mean, how does that work on our bodies?
It's really cool, actually. I mean, people obviously know about endorphins, right? So you move, you get these wonderful feel-good hormones, but it's actually the concomitant effects of movement from that. So, for example, yes, you get the endorphins, but we know that the kind of the social aspect of physical activity, right? So whether it's a class or bumping into a neighbor while you're going for a walk, that can improve mental health and anxiety. We also know that if you're moving better, you're going to sleep better. And we know that has a huge impact on stress, feelings, and anxiety and mental health. We also know if you get that movement day to day, it makes you kind of more clear of mind. So when you sit down to work, you get more done, you feel a greater sense of control over your life. So that impacts it. So there really is some wonderful science around this. And I'm so glad we're speaking about it because we've spoken about it for our physical health for years, but I really think it's one of those things that we haven't made that jump, that link.
Yeah, and once we are starting to, combine the two together, and it's the same as you eat well, you feel well, you exercise, you feel physically better. Feel physically better does have a huge positive mental impact on us. Ranj, where can we go for more information about the whole campaign?
So, as we know, it's Mental Health Awareness Week. If you want free ways to look after your mental well-being, just head over to the Every Mind Matters website, pop that into your search engine, and it will take you there. But if you feel like you're ready to make the first move and you want to get a bit more physical activity incorporated into your day, there's some great free NHS-approved apps such as Couch to 5K and Active 10, and I'd recommend people check those out as well.
Not everybody can do Strictly.
No, not everybody can, but everybody can try.
Just dance around your own home. That'll do the job, just like you would do these days. Well, for now, Dr. Linda Papadopoulos and Dr. Ranj Singh, thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
Lovely to see you. Thanks so much.
With an unexpected twist at Wolverhampton's Grand Theatre from the 16th through the 20th of May, there's going to be a cast on stage doing something like you have never seen before. This is going to be special, different, and importantly, brand new. Drew Hylton is here to tell us all about their part in the show. Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Now, how are you doing? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well. And you're it's not only a fresh show, but you're fresh to the industry as well. So tell us a bit about your character.
So my character Shona is a young teen girl who sadly has lost her mum, and she's with her dad. They're struggling financially, and their relationship is struggling a little bit because they move around quite a lot, and she blames her dad for that.
Mm-hmm.
But she does love him. Promise, she does love him. But during the show, there's a few rifts in their relationship, and she's trying to navigate her way through this new school, this new area, whilst also just being like tied into Oliver Twist. Like her life is kind of like a storybook. There's loads of people telling her that she's like him, and she sees things during the play. She sees all the characters come out from behind her, kind of like her own little thoughts. And as the book progresses, her story matches up with Oliver a lot more. And then we slowly kind of start to get the message that she is basically leading the same life as Oliver Twist. And she realizes that.
Now, had you read Oliver Twist before coming to this?
No, I hadn't. I'd only watched the movie.
Uh-huh.
when I was like 9, probably. I hadn't seen really or read it before this.
Yeah, because it's adapted from Michael Rosen's novel, and it's Oliver Twisted that we're starting from. And I mean, how do you think that translates the stage through what you're doing here? Because it's taking a book to the stage. It's almost like taking it, a book to a film to a book. There's always a bit of difference, isn't there? And obviously, when you've got live action characters, it really brings that book to life.
Yeah, I'd say that it is definitely different, and I know that like Roy and Michael Rosen didn't want the book to be, didn't want their book and their version to be the exact same, because there are, other problems that have arose in our generation that needed to be talked about, as well as, county lines and child trafficking and exploitation and things like that. There are so many more problems now that people are allowed to speak about, that I guess they have, added into the play, like poverty and like underfunded schools, and the pressure of social media and having to have a phone and be cool and things like that, and like societal pressure on teenagers. I think they definitely hit the nail on the head with that. So it's not the same, because of course Oliver Twist didn't have a phone, but it explores, I guess, the same themes, just in a more friendly and more real way, I guess. Yeah.
And people will take a message away from this, won't they?
Yeah, 100%. There are so many little tiny stories in this play that people will catch on to. Some people might not catch on to them, but you're still going to enjoy it. There's like I said, again, like child exploitation, trafficking. There's like gang violence. I guess that goes under the line of, like drug use and all sorts of things. There's so many different pathways in this play that like more adults could understand. Children will still get some sort of message that we want to put out for them. And yeah, it's very clever the way they've done it. Yeah.
And it is about engaging with young people. And is that how it drew you in? Were you engaged by just reading and hearing the script?
When we did a sort of a workshop week, so I didn't know I had the part yet, or I didn't have the part yet. I just auditioned for the workshop, and I was playing the role of Shona, and we went through the script and all the songs and stuff. And it was when we kind of brought everything to life on the last day. It wasn't the full play, but it was like the first half of the play. We sang through all the songs. There was like real story, and it was so collaborative that like I'd watched everyone go from absolutely know nothing about it to writing raps and writing lyrics and workshopping different ideas. And there were so many things in that process that have completely been kicked to the floor, and no one will ever see them. But it did make the process that much better, because there's so many ideas that are in it and so many that haven't been, but they've all benefited it. Yeah.
And when it comes to that music in there, I mean, is beatboxing something that you've done before, or is it a skill that you've picked up for this?
Everyone says I'm allowed to call myself a beatboxer now, but I'm still not.
I would say professional beatboxer now, not just any old beatboxer, one who got the gig.
Yeah, well, I see. I sing mainly in this show, but there are like a few talented beatboxers. Well, I mean, everyone is quite talented now that we've been doing it for a while. But yeah, I'm not the main beatboxer, but I do like to, when my mic's on, add a few little, not meant to, but
we won't tell anybody. It's okay. We'll just watch for what you're doing during the show and see how it works out. But what was it like though, learning to use your voice differently though? Because even though you say you are singing quite a bit, you had to pick up, by the sense of things, a new skill set to be able to do it.
Yeah, well, I mean, like we all kind of did an integrated beatboxing like throughout this whole process, like every single person. So we've all gained quite a few skills, but it also just helped us understand what the other beatboxers are doing. Like, so like whilst I am singing, I'm like, okay, I need to do this good, because I know there is someone working so hard in that wing to keep the tempo and keep the time and all sorts. It's definitely given me a much better understanding of what actually goes on just to make the backing track that I'm singing to. Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely, like helped me understand when like timing does go wrong, that like someone is working hard and they're probably just really out of breath backstage. So cut them some slack, sort of thing. Yeah.
But I mean, it's part of a show, and it's part of a live show as well, isn't it? And the fact it's a different performance every time, that's part of it. And that when you got into performing, what was it that drove you there, and how did you get into the world of performing arts?
So I've always liked singing. I wasn't actually the singer in my family. My older sister was, but we have found out, in recent years that she actually couldn't sing. She really liked it. But I became a singer. In year 7, I did like a school show, and the dance teacher, I also did gymnastics, so I did dance with them. Dance teacher was like, "Oh, she's really good," and my mum came to watch, and there was people crying and all sorts. But I just sang All I Want for Christmas. It was really bad, and I do have a video, but it was awful. But everyone was like, "Oh, she's really got something." So I went off and I did a half term at a drama school just to see if I would like it, and I ended up auditioning for Annie with that, and then that's when I got my first part. I went through 11 auditions and I played the part of Pepper, and then I joined an agency, so I joined Stagebox and I started training with them, and I've done a few sort of little West End things. They do like professional video shoots and things, so I've definitely picked up a lot of skills from my agency, and then basically I just did Annie again, and then I got cast for something before COVID, but it got cancelled sadly because of COVID, and then I'm here.
Yeah. Oh, you're here and you're having a great time. It must be brilliant taking a lead role in this.
It's been, I've never done a lead role before ever, so it was definitely quite a daunting experience. It was really scary, but I'm glad that it's a new play because I didn't really have to live up to anything. I feel like it would have been much worse if I had to, live up to watching videos of someone else play this part, but it was completely new, and I definitely did have a lot of like free reign over what happens with my role and how she is, and I kind of put my own personality into it, so it made it a lot easier, a lot less stressful. But
what you're doing is you're creating, number one, something for somebody else to live up to in years to come when they take on this role. But equally, it's great though the way every performer brings something different and they explore a different part of the character. So you should never ever be worried about that. Bring Drew to the role and everything that is a part of you when you're out performing. And I'm sure you're going to absolutely shine on stage, as the rest of the group will too. So it's going to be a journey that the audience will take with you as we see Michael Rosen's unexpected twist and Oliver Twisted Tale. Wolverhampton's Grand Theatre from the 16th through the 20th of May. 01902 429212 is the box office number. grandtheatre.co.uk to get your tickets. And you can see Drew Hylton and her peers as they bring this story to life. Drew, thank you for joining us. Have a brilliant time. Break a leg, and we look forward to the show.
Thank you so much.
Jay Blades has been down here at the Malvern Three Counties Showground and having a great time talking to people. You've been. No one has stopped you talking yet, have they? And you will talk for England.
No, I will talk for England, but you've got a really good voice.
Thank you.
I've heard your voice on the radio before.
You probably have in Wolverhampton because you've been working in our city over a number of years, haven't you?
It is your voice I hear. When you hear someone, like. Wow.
Okay, right.
No, it's a good thing. So what was the question?
Well, you enjoyed yourself down here at the show having a natter?
Yeah, I've been having a natter with people and I'm going to go and walk around the flowers and all that. Mm-hmm. I don't really like bugs that much, but I've been told that in one of them tents there's hardly any bugs in there, so it's cool. I'm going to get to walk around.
You're probably okay with that. Don't go and see the bees if you've got a problem.
No bees. I know where the bees are. They've told me I'm not going there.
So don't go near the bees. But when you come to an event like this, though, I mean, you're not only talking about some of the social enterprise work you've done, but you get to talk a lot about you as well. And I mean, we see a lot of you on TV, but there's more than just the stuff that we see on things like the repair shop.
No, 100%. I've had. I only came to the repair shop when I was 47. Mm-hmm. So for 47 years, I've been living a bit of a life. And basically. All of that time that I've been living, people get to find out, okay, what makes you you? I've seen you on the repair shop. I see you like the host, a bit like Nick Knowles on DIY SOS. Mm-hmm. You do nothing. So what is it you do? And it's like, well, I kind of put people at ease and I speak to them and so on and so forth. And then I do all this other stuff outside. That's what I do.
But with the work that you do on furniture and the like, though, I mean, there's going to be people who have some magic that Jay Blades has touched at some point. And
oh, bless you.
100 years' time, there's going to be antique shops.
Well, you tell us the truth, you never know. That's quite right. I didn't even think of it in that way. Yeah, because my style is very distinctive. Mm-hmm. And then you would know you've got a Jay Blades piece of furniture because it's like that's stuff. And also all the stuff that we do. well, you've given me an idea. We are photographing every piece that we've done. We're photographing, so there is a catalogue of, and a bit like some of these old furniture designers, they've got a catalogue of, that's the real deal. A bit like a painter, know that's only one of those in the world or whatever. So, yeah, 100 years from now, never know.
But upcycling as well is one of the things that gets talked about a lot here as well, because with Morven, they're looking at that cycle of life and making sure things get reused. Yeah. And you're doing that in the world of furniture, and second-hand furniture, as was a thing. But when you put that extra edge to it as well, you're making new from old, and that must be great to rebirth something, as it were.
Yeah, you're redesigning it. So what we're doing with our furniture is basically, instead of it going to a landfill site, you've got to make the undesirable desirable. So imagine something's classified as rubbish, you turn it around and you give it that J-Blades twist, and then boom, it's desirable. So I love it, and there's loads of other people doing it, and they put their little twist on it. But my twist is completely different. I must say it's a bit different.
So what are you doing for outside of the TV work as well? If people want to see what's going on in your world,
I think the best bet is probably go to my website. But the easiest way to explain it is I am the. Oh, blimey. Here we go. You ready for this? Yeah?
Okay, let's give it a go.
Right. I am Chancellor of Bucks New Uni. I am an ambassador for the Princess Foundation, an ambassador for Quest, which is the Queen Elizabeth Scholarship Trust, and then I'm also the co-chair for Heritage Crafts. And I think that's enough. Oh yeah, I'm kind of like a loose ambassador for a thing called the Saturday Schools, which is all about teaching young people different disciplines, different crafts, different kind of careers that they might want to get into. And we do that on a Saturday, which is free of charge to them, and it's normally in their local area as well.
And so you're living just in Shropshire at the minute, I think, aren't you?
I'm living in Claverley. Yeah, I live in Claverley, and my workshop is in Ironbridge.
And does that mean that is the workshop open to people to come and see as well, or
it is? But I'm never there.
You're always working somewhere else.
Always working somewhere else. I should be at the workshop now, but I'm not there now. I think this year I only got to my workshop, I think, about 3 times, and that was to do a photo shoot. That was it. I was in and out.
Does this mean these hands are now soft and they're not?
They are unbelievably soft. But what these hands do is actually my main thing that I do now is kind of like influence people. So trying to make sure that I'm using what I am and what I've become, a quote-unquote celebrity, to actually do some good. So planting the seeds for other generations. That's what I'm doing now. So using it for some good.
And then the website then, how do we find you online? Obviously, you can search if you're on the socials easy enough.
Socials, I'm on the socials of the website. My business is called J & Co, so you can search that. And then I'm also running an organisation called, I'm doing an event called Craft Works, which is all about making craft accessible. So there's people like me who are dyslexic or not necessarily academic. I'm showing them a path that they can get into this kind of world and how they can do it. So all of the organisations that I represent, and there's loads more, it's basically bring them all together and just say, well, this is what we're doing, this is what you can do, and this is how you can become that.
And build that confidence to know it's what 100%. You can do, not what you can't do, that counts.
Exactly, 100%. Totally agree with you.
Yeah. Well, lovely to meet you. Thank you for having me with a natter, and I look forward to seeing you in and around our area in the not too distant future.
Yeah, and now I can actually put a face to the voice that I hear on the radio. I'm like, wow, that's quite cool, man. That's nice. It freaks me out. It probably freaked me out. I'm like, I know that voice. Where do I know you from? And it's because I listen to you on the, sorry for swearing, on the bloody radio. It's weird. It's proper weird, man.
It's weird having seeing you on TV than you get to meet you in real life, because you're taller than you are on that telly.
No, because you only got a 32 inch.
Yeah.
You need to get a big one, 65 or 60 or 78, something like that.
Smash it. Thanks again, mate. Cheers. From the 23rd through to the 27th of May, Rock of Ages is at Wolverhampton's Grand Theatre. Amazing music, a brilliant show, brilliant stars. Cameron Sharp's one of them. Hello, sir.
Hello there. Thanks for having me on.
Good to talk to you. Right, okay. Give us the lowdown on what's happening with this particular production, because there's something special going on, isn't there?
There is. So we're in our farewell tour, and I know that's a phrase that is being used intentionally, slightly comedically, just because a lot of bands have done many farewell tours. But this really is the last time that it's going out. At least as far as we know, this is the end of the run for the show.
Yeah, pending a revival, maybe in a decade or so.
I'm sure the writers will want something to happen eventually, but for now, this is it.
And every time it comes past any venue, people are queuing up in their hordes to come and see it, because it is just such feel-good music. And we reliving bits of the 80s that you never thought you'd ever relive. In fact, for you, it's the first time round, to be fair.
Yeah. No, but the songs are so good, and I think it's a great mix of some of the huge hits that everyone knows that you can't even escape knowing, no matter what age you are. And then there's also some real kind of little Easter eggs thrown in there for the big 80s rock fans. There's some songs in there that maybe if you're really into that world of music, you'll go, oh wow, I haven't heard this for years, or I love this one. And then you still also got the absolute big classics in there. It's great fun.
Yeah, I think the 80s has an awful lot to offer, and when you listen to 80s output and what it is remember these days, it's like if you were to go back to the 60s, and a proper 60s DJ will know exactly which 60s tracks you're missing. And again, this is put together by a group of people who have a love for 80s music and have really done it all justice, even down to the eyeliner.
Yeah, of course the eyeliner's there. And there's what they've done really well in the writing of the show as well, I think, is there's a lot of songs where they kind of mix them together. They create little medleys, but it's not done in a frustrating way where you only get a little bit of the song and then it moves on. They give every song its real sort of the respect that it deserves. And then you'll suddenly go, wait, we've moved into a different song, but they do it in such a clever way that you barely even notice. It's great fun to perform, and it's great fun to watch.
Okay, give us the lineup of some of the characters we'll see on stage, starting with your own.
Yeah, so I play rock star Stacey Jacks. He is, if anyone's seen the movie, it's the Tom Cruise character. The story is actually a bit different in the musical. The musical came first, and they changed the plot quite a bit for the film. So in the musical, Stacey is this worldwide rock star and very arrogant, loves himself, treats everyone else quite horribly.
So you fit into this role quite well then?
Oh, of course, it comes very naturally. And it's great fun to play because it's so different. Just he objectifies everyone. He treats everyone as a way of of how he can get personal gain out of them. And it's just really not a likable person at all. So that's the character that I play, but he comes into the show quite late on, and he kind of inserts himself into a love story that is blossoming between our romantic leads, who are Drew Bowley and Sherry, and they are sort of forming a relationship just when Stacey arrives in time to mess it all up. And then we also have, it sounds really complicated as a plot when you describe it, but it's really not. We have a bar that is called the Bourbon Room, which is owned by Dennis Dupree, and we have Lonnie, who is our narrator character, who also works at the bar. And then as a second subplot, we have these two German characters, Hertz and Franz, who come in and they want to buy up the whole rock and roll strip, the area in LA, and they want to build a big they want to basically gentrify it, but in a way that involves building big Foot Locker athletic stores and not just turning it all into a mall basically. And there's one character, Regina, who is trying to stop that.
So what will happen next? How will it work out? How will the songs fit in with this? And will we not stop believing? These are all important questions.
Exactly. And that's the thing, is it's basically, one thing I need to add into that is it's a real comedy. It is self-aware. All of these characters are really big and silly. They're the sections of the show that are set in a strip club. It's very kind of in your face and unapologetic. It's kind of raucous, a bit raunchy. And it's just great fun. It's very, very funny. And I feel like I always have to push that because I forget to say it otherwise.
Yeah, no, it is an amazing show. A really good laugh. And you mentioned the bar owner there. And with being a million miles away from Curly Watts, there's a certain gentleman playing this role there that's absolutely, you don't know what to expect when you see him up there if you haven't already seen the show. And it is awesome.
Oh, he's great. Kev Kennedy plays Dennis, and he's great. He's great fun to be around anyway, off stage, and he's on stage. He's fantastic at it. And I just think people wouldn't expect necessarily to see him, if they know him from Curly Watts, to see him on stage singing and playing his guitar, and he's great. And also doing a lot of things that I'm sure weren't allowed on daytime TV.
It is just a really good fun show, though. Certainly one for. What's your age limitation on this? I think we're saying 12 plus, aren't we?
I think it's 12 plus on the website. 12 plus.
But it is good fun.
It is, and it is definitely quite adult themed. I will stress that it's not offensive in any way if a child were to come, but it touches on a lot of adult content.
And through innuendo, some good fun in your face jokes, and the entertainment, that it really is there to put a smile on your face and share the music. That's what it does.
It really, really does. And there's a line right at the start of the show that I always think sums it up really well, where our narrator character, Lonnie, played by Tim Oxbrow, he says, the time, you guessed it, mid to late 80s, roughly. And I think that's the vibe of the show, is that it's kind of, even in itself, it's saying this is kind of set somewhere in the 80s-ish. Like, it's not that, don't worry about it. It's not that accurate. Yeah. And that's
we've got the songs we wanted to play. We're playing them with energy, and whatever happens. And it is just the entertainment value of all of that in one go. But another important part of the show, who is wearing the most makeup during this?
Oh, I don't know. Lonnie has some pretty heavy eyeliner. I've got some eyeliner on the go. I don't know who wins. I mean, it's all of us are made up. There's a lot of eyeliner going on. There's a lot of wigs. And then for the girls, there's a lot of big 80s sort of colourful eye makeup. It looks great.
And if you weren't there at the time, you may be shocked by some of this, but it wasn't every day walking down the street it happened, but it happened, and it was good fun. And I think it's that side of the 80s that you're bringing to life, and it is going to be just one hell of a show. So musically, which of your songs do you love singing the most?
I mean, I think so. Dead or Alive is my sort of first big song in the show, and it's such a great song. Obviously, to sing Bon Jovi is awesome. I love that one, but I also get to do I Want to Know What Love Is with Sherry, played by Gabby Williams, and I love that song. It's such a gorgeous song, so I think that's probably my favorite to sing.
So that's going to be one of your highlights and one of the audience highlights, I am absolutely sure, in the show. 01902 429212 is the box office number. grandtheatre.co.uk to get your tickets. Get yourself along, get online, pick up your tickets, and see a masterpiece on its farewell tour.
I know, the last chance to catch it. And also, just wanted to add, it's nice for me because I did amateur dramatic shows at the Wolverhampton Grand when I was growing up, because I grew up not far from there, near Lichfield. So this is kind of a bit of a homecoming for me as well, because I haven't actually performed at the Wolverhampton Grand since I've been professional, which has been 10 years, but I've just missed it on every tour. So this will be nice chance to do it as a professional.
So, I mean, this does mean though that we've got a battle against your family to get tickets. So get in there quick.
Yeah, it's sold out entirely from Sharps.
Get along to the box office, get your tickets. You can see Cameron's relatives as well as him on stage, because there was someone there every night of the week represented, and it's going to be amazing. It is the 23rd to the 27th of May. Again, 01902 429212, that box office number, grandtheatre.co.uk. It is Rock of Ages. Cameron, break a leg, have a great time, keep the eyeliner looking sharp.
Thank you very much, I'll try my best. Thanks for having me on.
From the 16th through to the 18th of June, the Three Counties Showground plays host to the Royal Three Counties Show. Show lead is Alice Arnold, who is with me now. Hello.
Hello.
And you're all excited, looking forward to this, aren't you?
Very excited.
So what have you got lined up this year? Because there's always a lead county, isn't there?
There is a lead county this year. It's Gloucestershire, which we're really, really looking forward to welcoming everyone from Gloucestershire here, as well as the Three Counties and beyond. It's a great family day out with the largest equine and livestock show in the country, with over 6,000 animals on show over the weekend.
And this is all an important part of us understanding the whole food chain and making sure that if we are going to eat meat, we understand where that comes from and the reality behind it, and also the importance of animal husbandry.
Absolutely. It's all about choices, and it's making educated choices. So it's making sure if people know what they're eating, where food comes from, and why it's important to know.
And it's also important that we do enjoy our vegetarian and vegan food in the same way, and that is certainly not going to be left out, not only on the food stands that are available to buy whilst you're here, but also the education in the background too.
Absolutely. Gosh, there's some amazing food retailers here, both to eat on site and to take home. Lots of artisan producers. We've got an English wine showcase this year. We're reintroducing the cheese and dairy show, which has been missing for a few years, so that'll be great. We've got a food and drink festival with live music and artisan producers, and also a food cookery stage with lots lots of demos going on and lots of tasters to be had.
And all this alongside so much to see too. And so you've mentioned the fact we've got so many animals down here. Somebody who's interested in that is, of course, Adam Henson.
Yes, Adam's our show ambassador, so he's going to be here for all 3 days of the show. And he does a fantastic job, from talking to groups of school children who come free on the Friday of the show. Children actually come free across the whole 3 days, through to taking part in our Future of Farming talks in our farming theatre, talking about regeneration farming and about careers in the countryside and how they've evolved and will continue to evolve into the future.
And all this with the backdrop of the Malvern Hills on one side and all the open space on the other. And it's so easy to park, so easy to get to, literally just down the road from us in Wolverhampton, about an hour on the road. And this is the biggest show of its type that we can get to from where we are.
Absolutely. It's quite an iconic showground, really. There's nowhere else that has this beautiful blue sky, amazing hills that we sit at the foot of.
And there are more than just your usual farm animals as well, because you've got the likes of the alpacas down this year.
Absolutely, yes. You can learn about alpacas, learn what they do, what you can use their fleece for. And in fact, we're showcasing the journey of fleece. We've got an international shearing competition where we've got people who've come from all around the world to compete here before they go to the Golden Shears, which is up at the Royal Highlands Show the following weekend. And you can follow the journey of wool through from seeing the sheep shorn right the way through the process of making products out of British wool.
And again, this is it's part of that whole food chain and the whole chain of everything we do in life, because it all comes from agriculture, however you look at it, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And I heard some stats recently where the average person is 7 generations away from the farm. And so all that knowledge has been lost over many generations. And this is one of the steps we can do to try and educate people on countryside and the British countryside and some of the amazing products that we have here.
Yeah, and there's often new innovations, everything from a couple of years ago, from the crisp packet, which you can actually biodegrade, through to all sorts of different things, which are very often seen for the first time here at Malvern.
Absolutely. I mean, there are some amazing farmers doing some amazing things about regeneration and about net zero and about real sustainable practices. It's really great to be able to champion them and give them a platform to be able to showcase what they can do.
And I say, all this is the Royal Three County Show, the Three County Showground. We need tickets now. How do we get hold of those?
Fantastic. threecounties.co.uk. Tickets are £23 for adults, free for under 16s, and they're £28 on the gate.
So make sure you get yourself signed up nice and early. Give us the dates again.
16th to the 18th of June.
Simple as that. So come along, enjoy a wonderful time down here at the Three County Showground. Alex Arnold, thank you for having a natter.
Thank you very much.
That's all for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. Back with episode 726 next week. I'll see you then. Ta-ra for now.
Goodbye from the milk bar. 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 Yeah. Goodbye from the milk bar. Yeah.